How are you doing today? This is Coach B, and welcome to this podcast. We may be living today in one of the most challenging times to be a leader. But in that case, it doesn't have to stop us, from becoming the leader that we need to be. May mga tao po, I believe, na nilagay si Lord sa life po natin for us to, be leading at this season, to lead them to a path where they can really experience still the best life, even through difficult circumstances. And the best life doesn't mean an easy life. The best life doesn't mean a comfortable life. I believe the best life still, at the end of the day, is a life that is meaningful, a life that is fruitful, a life that, we don't just give up when challenges come, but a life that presses on forward. So, for us to be able to move forward as leaders, I know that this one thing is really important: innovation. As leaders, we need to be innovators as well. Napakahalaga po na maintindihan natin that there are some challenges to innovating. When we talk about innovating, we adapt to the change, we adapt to what we are faced with, and then sometimes we kinda improvise. We need to change. We need to develop some new systems, some new ways. But then, sabi nga natin, may mga challenges ito eh. Ano yung pwedeng maging mga challenges ng ating pong innovating? Sometimes it's the fear of failure. What if we try something new and then we fail? Well, at least when we tried something new and then it failed, pwede natin itong solusyonan. Pwede natin itong gawan pa din ng paraan. If we failed, then it's okay. At least we tried. At least we still move forward. And the problem is, when we think that as leaders, we're not supposed to make mistakes. That's not true at all. Maraming mga pagkakataon that we will make mistakes in leadership, but at the end of the day, these are the things that make us stronger, wiser, and better. So, those moments where we see na, oy, nagkamali ako dito, I need to change this, then, we see that these failures are precious. And at the end of the day, it will allow us to move forward further, even more in our leadership. So, one of the things also that stops a leader from innovating is the challenge of change, the challenge of change. Minsan, ang hirap i-take yung challenge na yun because you might have to sacrifice some things. If you want to change, there's probably something in your life or in your systems that will be affected. And being faced with that challenge, may mga leaders po minsan na because they don't want that challenge, they just choose to remain stagnant. But then, we need to understand this, that in order for us to grow, in order for us to move forward, there has to be change. Change is necessary. Change is inevitable. But the question is, are we changing for the better? Are we changing for the best? Are we choosing to change intentionally? Or we're just allowing the circumstances to change us how it wants us to be changed? Not in an intentional way, not tayo mismo having that desire, I want to change in this. I want to be better in this. I'm making this change because this change will help me get to where we need to be as a company, as a business, as a family, as a church, or in our relationships. So, napakahalaga po ng change. And the last thing also that can stop a leader from making that innovation that he needs to do is the fear of leaving the past behind. Leaving the past behind. Is this a challenge for you? Or maybe, may mga bagay tayo kasi na nakasanayan na natin. We don't want to change it. It's in the past. People have put these systems in place and we just want to continue it. But, why continue something that's constantly destroying you or maybe not allowing you to move forward in where you want to be as a leader or as a community? Some things need to be stopped if it doesn't work anymore. If it doesn't work anymore, you don't have to keep it. If it, stops you from growth, if it stops you from moving forward, it's okay to leave it behind. I'm talking about systems. I'm not talking about people. I'm not usapan na po yun. What we're talking about here is, maybe systems that you need to leave behind or, disciplines or habits that had been in your life but it's no longer causing you to move forward. Then I believe now is the time na kailangan na natin yung husgahan or sentensahan. If it's been too long already and these things are causing us to be stagnant, maybe now is the time to leave it behind and then see that we can, innovate sa mga panahon po na ito. So I challenge you as a leader, sa akin din po, I'm making this change right now. When the pandemic started, ang dami ko pong kailangan baguhin. Not just with my leadership, but with myself as well. I had to learn a lot of stuff. I had to learn OBS. I had to learn how to like talk sa camera. I needed to adapt to the changes, preaching in front of a camera, speaking to people through Zoom and other online platforms. I've seen also other churches and community leaders na stuck na sila because they don't want to embrace the technology that we have right now, and all that they want to do is just to wait for things to change or wait for things to go back to normal. But I don't believe that's where we are going. But if we as leaders, or we as as a community or as a church, we're able to adapt, we're able to innovate, I believe we can move further along, forward from where we are today. So as leaders, let's not be afraid to innovate. Let's not be afraid to take the challenge of change. Let's not be afraid to leave some things behind, because I believe that what God has for us forward, what God has for us in the future, is so much better than what we were used to. So, God bless you. I hope this helps you out. See you in the next podcast.